Thank you. Thank. Um, Sorry in advance because it's my first talk in English, so I'll do my best to do that good. And also, I'm nervous as shit, so sorry for that as well because I didn't talk and I didn't do some talks for a long time. I guess like maybe for 1 year. So, and also thanks to all of you because today was raining. I don't know why, but it's happening every single time when we do some meetup. For the last 3 times it was raining in the evening when it was sunny during the day. So maybe we should shift our meetups to the day. I don't know. So, hello. As was mentioned before, I decided to talk today. I don't know why, because every time I'm so good guy. I always invite a lot of people to do some talks, but at the same moment I just stay beside of that and just listen to that. That's why I said that, okay, man, maybe you will do some talk. And also, so I'm Mike. I'm principal UX designer at SinnerSchrader. We really like to laugh even out loud about pronunciation of these words, so don't worry if you will say in the wrong way. And also I'm principal executive officer at Projector. It's a huge school. I'm ordinary from Ukraine. So, and I came here 1 year ago, and I can't live without education. I can't live without some cool information, and also I'm a designer, so that's why I need to validate my ideas. I need to get some new knowledge. That's why I relocated here and I started these meetups. So, and now I will talk about some research. How many of you are designers? Like, when I will mention the design today, so as I'm interactive designer, as I am interface designer, so I will mention all digital design. So how many of you are digital designers? Raise your hands, please. Okay, so like half of you. Okay, I thought that there would be more of you. And how many of you do research in different shapes, in different? Okay, yeah, okay. I think that we should compare at least first and second questions because it was it could be strange. So I want to tell you about my opinion. What does it mean, good design? And it's quite strange to name it like good design because it's quite subjective. What does it mean, good design? But at the same moment, I think that I won't invent something new, so I will just mention those things which I think that mostly you know. But at the same moment, I really prefer to use this triangle or 3 rounds, I don't know, 3 circles. So it was not by me, so created not by me, but it's about users' needs, you know. So mostly we work with some users. I don't think that there are some design which is without some users. That's why we need to, it's quite simple to understand that we need to validate our ideas according to their needs. We need to understand why do they need to do that, why do they need to use that, why don't they want to use that, not because they're stupid, because mostly because we are lazy or something like that. Also, we should not to forget about business needs because it's quite important. We understand that if some users will need something and we will be so glad to do them happy, but at the same moment we understand that we can't live without the money. So someone should pay for that. Someone should be in the same boat with you because they should give you all the options to create something good for those good users. And also, we need to understand about the technical abilities are quite important for us as well because we can live at the same flat with some users and love them. We can love our bosses which give us money, but at the same moment, if we will create something in our heads which not fits to our technical abilities, so we won't create that. Mostly, I think that it happens with some junior designers when they like to create They want to put everything, VR, AR, everything. Let's do everything at one project because we are so clever and we studied somewhere and now we want to create everything, but at the same moment we don't have enough of everything again. So maybe the boss doesn't want to pay for that, or maybe there are not the right time to do that. So, and also, as I mentioned before, so it's not my opinion, but it's this cute guy. I think that most of you know him. It's Don Norman, and he created this triangle. So the good design, good UX is in the middle of that. So I think that no more words because I mentioned everything before. So what does it mean? You want to ask, or maybe don't want, but I want to ask. What does it mean? What does it mean? So I think that, first of all, it means that we need to validate our design, our solutions, our ideas, because a lot of people think that they're quite experienced. That's why they don't need to validate everything. So they created 100 e-commerce websites before. Why do they need to validate everything? We don't need to focus only on one circle, which I mentioned before. So again, don't forget about this guy. He's happy to hear this voice and this phrase. And also, we need to understand that the world is changing every single moment. That's why you remember that technical abilities, they're rising up. So, and also we get more money or less, and also the users' needs, and also the users are so different. That's why we need to do that. So. And who would save us, you will ask me. So I will answer that I think that it's researchers. Because only then they can help us to validate and to create some good design. Because mostly we can talk to, just because of the researchers, and by researchers we can ask some questions, get some knowledge, validate the technological abilities and so on. So why do we need, mostly a lot of people ask that, what do we, mostly I think that there is like the small box in the heads of some junior designers and even middle designers, and they think that research, it means like very deep phase of something. They need to invite 200 people to pay a lot of money for that and to book the room for 2 weeks. That's why they won't do that. But I think that it's cool because we can validate everything, we can research everything, so we can do research for validation of our needs, for our ideas, implemented features or some new features which we want to implement. We can do research to validate our flows, spend time, which we mention in the second lecture. Some focus points. I think that we can validate everything and just by the research. What are the stop points? I think that mostly you will agree with me that stop points are mostly, and I think that mostly you had this in the past, and maybe you have this now, or maybe you will have that in future. So mostly it's because of money. You can do some research, at least we think like that. We have no time, so it's not enough. So we always have the time, but it's not enough. We don't have money and time. Mostly it happened like that because you try to ask your stakeholder, maybe we will do that. No, we need to implement that yesterday, so just move forward. Laziness. Yeah, mostly it happened like that because, as I mentioned before, there are so many people which think that, oh shit, I'm so cool, I'm so experienced guy, so I'm senior UX designer, so maybe I don't need to validate my ideas, I'm so clever. Limited knowledge. So some junior designers, they don't want to start research because they think that they're not good enough and they're afraid to ask some questions to their colleagues. So it's quite strange, but they're afraid. They don't understand that if they will do this research, they will get a lot of knowledge and they will grow up. And at the same moment, it's too much of experience. As I mentioned before, again, about some guys, and you know, a lot of such, which think that they don't need to do that because they know everything, as they think. So it's not the problem. I want to mention all of these previous steps because I want to talk a bit. I think that mostly all information which you will get, you know everything. But mostly people, I don't know why, but they don't use everything from that list which I want to mention. And I created the list of some researchers which don't need some money and time. Like, they need, but a bit. So, heuristics. Heuristics evaluation, they are quite good. I think that mostly people know about Nielsen, and that's it, who created the list of heuristics. But at the same moment, if you will go to just type heuristics evaluation, you will go to Wiki, you will get to Wiki, and there are at least 3 of heuristics evaluations. So this one, the name is quite long, but you can read it. So there are also 10 of them. They are mostly like engineering focused. That's why it's not the same, but at the same moment, these rules are pretty much the same as Nielsen's, but they are focusing on other parts, but they work as well. So you can use this one. This I can't also read, but you can read that. So it's the 3rd one. There are 20 of them, like Wikipedia says to us. But at the same moment, you can create your own list of some heuristics if you are experienced enough. And I know at least 2 people which did the same because previous heuristics, they didn't fit them. That's why they created their own and they worked. So first of all, you need to think about like, are you quite experienced? That's why, are you ready to create your own, and maybe previous stuff works great for you. So don't forget that you don't need to do that to use that like the rule. So it doesn't mean if there are 10 heuristics, so they should fit to each part of your system. So sometimes you don't need to put, so it doesn't work for everything. So if you don't have some option which you are able to validate by heuristics, it's okay as well. But think twice, is it a rule or not? And it's really good for junior practice. If you are lead, so you can easily use that. If you get some junior to your team and you need to lead him or her, you easily can give him some website, the table which are created by someone, or you can create your own and use these heuristics to give them an option to check this website or your system or your interface, it doesn't matter, by these heuristics. So it's really good practice for junior designers to grow up. And it's really better to use from low fidelity prototypes from the beginning when you start creation of your interface, because it works much better if your website or your pages works with some rules. Competitor analysis. A lot of people just think that they're the best on the market, or they don't have competitors, or there are so many of these competitors that they don't have enough time for that. That's why they really like to skip this option. But it's really great because for example, how many of you know SimilarWeb? Not so many. If you don't mind, I will go to SimilarWeb just to show it briefly. How can you use that for some competitor analysis? Oh shit, no, okay. Sorry, I closed that because I opened, oh, I don't have internet, okay. Let's go back. So, SimilarWeb, it's free tool, so it's like you can pay for some options, but if you will use it for free, so a free version is pretty good because you can see some overview of some competitor. You can see how many people go there. You can check what is the bounce rate, so how many people leave the website from the first page when they landed. You can see how much time do people spend at the website. So it gives some information which can help you to validate your own data from your website. So you can even, so it's an option to compare with something. If you are starting some new service, you can understand what data is good and what is bad. So if you validate it with some huge competitors, for example, if you have some, I don't know, some platform for communication, you can go to check Facebook, for example. It's not the right competitor, but I mean, like, you understand where you should grow to. So at the same moment, this option, I mean, competitor analysis, it can give you an option to go deeper to the business analytics, because before, if you are thinking only about the design stuff, so I don't think that you will get the good product as a result. So I think that if you will use competitor analysis, you are able to at least somehow understand the business itself, so you will get more knowledge about some business values and some business points of your future product or your existing product. And also, if you want to check your feature list of you want to create some feature list for the future for implementation, you can easily go to check some features from your competitors to understand where should you grow, and at least have the list of some features which you can validate. And don't forget, a lot of people forget, from my experience, they forget that they don't need only to validate ideas, features, and business of not only from some products which are the same on the market. So for example, if you are creating, as I mentioned, for example, some communication platform, you don't need to think only about communication platforms. But at the same moment, if you are creating some CrossFit bar or some CrossFit gym, so you need to think about also, I don't know, maybe about some energetic bars or something like that, because you need to understand the whole market and your users quite more deeply. Yeah, something like that. Corridor testing. I really love corridor testing, because a lot of people don't like to do some clickable prototypes, because they say that, okay, we don't have enough budget, that's why we won't have some attendees to our testings, because it's too expensive. But guys, girls, do you understand that there are so many people at your office sitting just right next to you, and they're also the users. So all of us use different interfaces every single day. So you can validate also, just create small clickable prototype. It's not the same as you will go and spend a lot of time with users, but at the same moment, it can give you a validation of some ideas, like on the top level at least. So it's totally free. It saves a lot of time. But don't forget that mostly we are designers and we are IT guys, and mostly around us are just such people like we are. So mostly they will tell you more than you expected. So they try to give you more advices because they are clever as shit. So yeah, so don't forget that they are clever people. Round Bobby. I really like this methodology. I got that. We have one project, it's Berlin Design Campus, when we go to Berlin, spend there 1 week, and go to different companies, like 8, 9 companies, product companies, some agencies, and so on. And once we went to Fjord, and they showed us this methodology. It's Round Bobby. It's methodology for validating of your overview ideas. When you have just idea and you want to validate the life cycle of that, or just can it be implemented or not. But it's like over top level of ideas. What do you need for that? And then I will talk about how does it work. At least it would be better if you will have 4 people, because there are 4 rounds. I will tell about that a bit more. And also, you need just to print these levels on some paper, and just 4 pens, that's it. And 4 steps. So, first step is you write the challenge statement. So you write the idea which you want to validate. Just simple. The second step, then, you have just 3 minutes, so it should be fast, not to think about that deeply. Then you just give your paper to the next teammate, and then you get another one from another side. In the second section, you write the you propose the solution. So you read this, and you write the solution for the idea of the previous teammate. It's really cool because it's not your idea, so you easily can validate everything, you can write everything. 3 minutes again, then turn around. Then you need to critique the previous, like the idea and the solution of this idea. And then again, you have just 3 minutes. So it's quite stressful exercise, but at the same moment, it gives you the validation by your teammates, and you know how bad they could be. So it's like your teammates, they're also designers, and they like to, okay, I remember when you ate the last croissant yesterday, so now I will tell you everything. And then the final step, you write just the final solution for that. And in the end, it would be great if everybody will present his or her idea behind the audience, because it would be great to show the results. So they will have, I guess, maybe 3 minutes more to read everything and to present everything to all people, because it gives a lot of and all of those people were involved in this process. That's why it's great. So it's like 15 minutes, but you validated 4 ideas with only 4 people for free. Support request list. A lot of people forget about that. Okay, now we will come further with this, but at the same moment, we have support. And these people, they know only these people, they know the main users' pain points. They understand, because it's their only work to collect pain points of the users. So they're like living in the hell, because I don't think that there are so many people, so many users which are texting like, oh guys, you are so cool. No, mostly they are texting something like, you are bad. So you should go to those people, or you just need to ask them for some credentials to get to this part and just to read everything about that. And then just create some table and put like the matches. If you will find a lot of stuff about some feature, you will easily understand that, okay, it doesn't work. For example, how many of you know about this option of scanning of QR code at Messenger at Facebook, like QR code? Not so many, because not so many people did like that. So, but it's bad feature. So if you will get a lot of feedbacks about that, or even one, so it will be better than nothing. And, oh no, sorry, just the book, okay. And also, the bad thing is that not every company has support. I can understand why. But mostly, I mean, like, not every company, but I mean, like, not every product has such support. I don't remember which one so it was not long time ago, but I just wanted to write, maybe it was meetup.com or something like that, and I just tried to reach some support guy, because I can't turn off the payment package, but there was no support, and it was horrible. Again, we have one more team at our work which we don't like to use, but we can use them, and it's sales team. Why do we need to use them? Because they know more than other people, because they try to sell your product. It's shitty or it's good, it doesn't matter for them, because they are getting money just because they sell this product. So you need to go to them and just to try to get the knowledge from them. Do some interviews with them. You don't need to pay to them, like to some guys which you need to pay. They know the main features of your app. And if the list of the features is growing, so they know it immediately because they are selling the features. They are not selling the product itself. And they know better the user's needs and pains, because even if it's just B2B segment, so it doesn't matter, because they know, because on another side, somewhere some users will appear. So I don't believe that there are some products without some users. So they know everything about the users. Inversion. To be honest, I read about that just 1 month ago, just one article, but I want to share it with you because I really love this idea. I found such article. There is a link here, but I will send you, if it's needed, this presentation, these slides. That's why you will be able to check it. So inversion, it's like some kind, it's the history of that. It was created a long time. And it's methodology how you can validate your idea, not ideas, but when you are going forward with just an idea that everything is great, or how to make this product better, it's okay. But at the same moment, maybe sometimes you need to go to another side and to start thinking from another side. So for example, here is an example how to use it. So just try to imagine the most important goal or project you are working on right now. And now fast forward 6 months and assume the project or goals has failed. And it's really great to start from the end. So now you know how to avoid and what should you avoid at the first moment. So just simple like that. Eye tracking. And a lot of people now will tell me that, okay, no, it's not for free and it's not even very cheap. But at the same moment, it's just an example of some new technologies which appears every day. So maybe some of you know it doesn't work properly now. It's really bad now, but it's better than nothing. So if you need to do that, like to focus on the small details, it won't work and it won't help you. But at the same moment, these Hawkeye, it works for iPhone by iPhone and just starting from iPhone X. But at the same moment, you can use it, and anyway, it will become better and better very soon. So that's why you can use it, and it helps you to use like eye tracking to test and validate first ideas. It's quite slow, but it works. And at the same moment, every single day, I'm sure that a lot of such products, they appear in our world which you can use for validating of your ideas. I forgot to tell that my lecture would be short, so because also Pavel asked me to give him more time. That's why now I will finish. So a lot of people like to read. That's why I won't give you a lot of stuff because I really think that it's enough for the beginning. Nielsen Norman Group, just read it every day because they have a lot of articles, they have a lot of videos. That's why I have a hypothesis that if someone will put junior designer to some room, give him just food and an option to go to the bathroom, and just internet with Nielsen Norman Group in 3 months, okay, maybe more, but it would be able to create like some good middle designer, at least. And also Alan Cooper about face. I think that it's like the Bible, so it's not like book for everyday reading. No, it's the book for, it's like the Bible which should like, okay, Bible which is lying on your table, and you have a question and you go there to get the answer. And that's it. Thank you. Some questions? No. To be honest, I hate this slider. That's why.
Oh, like it will appear there if someone asks through Slido, so there are no questions. So any other questions in the auditorium?
Hello, hey.
Hello.
Thank you for the presentation. My question is about the start of your presentation, about when the stakeholders won't support the research, because my experience is like totally different. So I don't get it, like the things about the money, because when they're building something, it costs like a lot of money, and the research will be like maybe 5% of it. So it's not like 90% of the costs are research. So what are the other arguments to like kick off your research phase?
From my previous experience, I worked mostly with some Ukrainian and Russian clients, and then I went to US, like to work with US and Canada clients, and they are pretty better than those mentioned ones, because they understand the meaning of this research. But at the same moment, all of these guys, they're counting each dollar for which they are paying. And my previous experience says that when the stakeholder, he has at least some experience with the design, it helps a lot because they understand the meaning of that. But at the same moment, they can't understand the meaning of these words, like why do we need to do the research? Why we are paying to you? So you are the professional. Maybe you will do everything. If we will need some research, we can do it by ourselves. And it's quite strange because I understand, I totally agree that it's quite stupid. But at the same moment, they can't understand, and mostly the designers, they do the mistake because they try to explain the meaning of this research by their words, like by the design words. But at the same moment, I think that the right way is to talk in the business words, like you will get the revenue like higher because we will validate that with the users. So it's not the rule, but mostly from my experience, they really like to skip that because they think that you are the designer and you should solve the problem, not the users, like that.
So you're talking about when your clients has like a in-house team and you are a freelance or external agency. So that's your point.
Yeah, and even I have an example. It's quite funny, but I have an example of even the product company, and it's like some storage for some cloud storage. And my ex-colleague, he's quite clever and experienced guy, and they did the research. They got some knowledge about what do their users need, and they came to stakeholders, like to product owners and to co-founders, and they said that we need to do that, and that. They said that no, we should implement radio. They said, sorry, what? Radio, yeah. But the research, the results of the research, there is no radio in the list. It doesn't matter. We need to implement radio, and it should be the next step. So yeah, it's edge case, but at the same moment, yeah, there are such clients and there are such founders don't understand. And mostly I think that it depends on the background, which I mentioned before. If they don't understand, if they're just from financial part, or if they're, and sometimes they are developers, for example, which hate some designers. They don't understand why do they need, like, why should they exist, for example. So, you know, such, there are not so many, and now it's changing, and I really like this time because there are not so many of them now. But there are some options like that. Sad, but yes. That's it. Yeah. Woo.
Okay.
Thank
so
you.
Thank you.